Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Mishu. It feels so good to have you here again. I'm Emily, and with me, as always, is my favorite study buddy, Liam.
Hey, Emily. Hey, everyone. How's your week been? Did you manage to stay consistent with your English learning, or did Netflix win again?
Oh, guilty. I actually had one of those weeks where I didn't feel motivated at all. But then something changed. I reminded myself why I started learning English in the first place: to connect, to grow, to open new doors.
That's powerful, Emily. You know, consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. And that's what today's episode is all about. How to be consistent in English learning, even when life gets busy, messy, or boring.
So, if you've ever started learning English, got excited for a few days, and then slowly stopped, don't worry. You're not alone. Today, we're going to figure out how to finally break that cycle and make English a real part of your life.
Grab your notebook, your tea, or just your focus, because by the end of this episode, you'll know how to build a habit that lasts.
Let's dive right in.
You know, Liam, most English learners don't fail because they're lazy or not smart enough. They fail because they stop showing up.
Exactly. It's not about learning 100 new words in one day. It's about learning 5 words every day and actually remembering them. That's where real progress happens.
I agree. Think about this. If you practice English just 20 minutes a day for 1 year, that's over 120 hours. But if you study for 3 hours one day and then skip a whole month, you'll lose the rhythm.
Yeah, English is like exercise. You can't get fit by going to the gym once a month. You have to do a little every day to build that language muscle.
That's so true. And I think what really matters is how you see consistency. It's not a punishment. It's a form of self-respect. Every time you sit down and practice, you're proving to yourself that you're serious about your growth.
Beautifully said, Emily. And if you're listening right now thinking, but I've tried before and I always quit, don't worry. We'll help you understand why that happens and how to fix it.
So stay with us. We're going to dig deeper into what really stops people from staying consistent and how you can finally build a rhythm that sticks.
Let's explore the real-life struggles English learners face.
Liam, I think one of the biggest struggles is losing motivation after the first few weeks. You start with excitement, maybe a new app, a new course, but then life happens and suddenly you skip a few days.
Oh, yes. And once you skip a few days, it's easy to skip weeks. Then you feel guilty, frustrated, and start thinking, maybe English just isn't for me. That guilt itself can stop you from trying again.
And it's not just motivation. Many learners feel overwhelmed. English has so many parts: vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, listening. Where do you even start?
Right. And don't forget distractions, social media, work, family responsibilities. Even if you want to study, it feels like there's never enough time.
Another thing I notice is comparison. Learners see others speaking fluently on social media or in class, and they think, I'll never be that good. That fear can stop people from practicing at all.
Yes, and that's so common. The truth is, consistency beats talent. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up every day, little by little.
And today, we're going to give you practical ways to fight all these struggles so you can finally stick to English learning without stress or guilt.
Let's dig deeper into the hidden reasons behind these struggles, the mindset and habits that quietly stop us from being consistent.
Okay, Liam, let's talk about the hidden reasons most people fail to stay consistent. First, I'd say fear of failure is huge. Many learners worry that they'll make mistakes, so they avoid speaking or practicing at all.
Absolutely. And then there's perfectionism. People want to get it right immediately. perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. But learning English isn't about perfection. It's about progress.
Another big one is lack of clear goals. If you don't know why you're learning English, it's easy to skip practice. Without a clear reason, even 20 minutes a day feels like a chore.
And habits play a big role. Many learners don't have a simple daily routine. If you try to study randomly whenever you feel like it, consistency becomes almost impossible.
Social pressure also affects learners. You might feel judged if you speak English with mistakes in front of friends or compare yourself to others who seem better. That pressure can quietly stop you from practicing.
So, the emotional and logical causes are all connected: fear, perfectionism, unclear goals, bad habits, and social pressure. But don't worry, we're going to fix all of these step by step with real, practical solutions.
Exactly, because consistency isn't magic. It's a combination of smart strategies and mindset shifts.
All right, Emily, let's move on to solution number 1, the first actionable step every English learner can start today.
All right, Liam, here's the first solution. Start small. Many learners think they need to study English for hours every day. That's intimidating, and it usually leads to quitting.
Exactly. Instead of aiming for 2-3 hours a day, start with just 10 to 15 minutes. Read one short article, learn 5 new words, or practice speaking for a few minutes.
I remember when I started speaking English aloud every day for only 10 minutes. At first, it felt silly, but after a few weeks, those 10 minutes became a habit, and I noticed real improvement.
And the secret is momentum. Small wins every day give you a sense of achievement. That feeling makes you want to continue, even when life gets busy.
Plus, small steps are flexible. You can practice on the bus, during lunch, or right before bed. Consistency doesn't need a perfect schedule. It needs a small, repeatable action.
And here's a tip. Track your progress. Use a calendar or an app to check off every day you practice. Even seeing a chain of green marks can motivate you to keep going.
So remember, don't overwhelm yourself. Start small, focus on momentum, and celebrate each tiny victory.
That's a solid first step. Now, let's move on to solution number 2, which builds on this habit and helps you stay consistent even when life gets busy.
Okay, Liam. So now that we've talked about starting small, the next step is making English a daily habit. It's not enough to study when you feel like it. You need to create a routine.
Exactly. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for motivation. When English practice becomes automatic, you don't have to force yourself. It just happens naturally.
One simple trick I use is linking English practice to an existing habit. For example, I listen to English podcasts while brushing my teeth or review vocabulary while having my morning coffee.
I do something similar. I practice speaking in front of the mirror every night before bed. It takes only 5 minutes, but over time, it builds confidence and fluency.
And consistency grows when the habit is enjoyable. Choose activities you love. Watch a short English video, chat with a friend, or even play a simple language game.
Another tip is to set reminders. Phones are great for this. Just a small notification can make sure you never forget your practice.
So the key is routine, enjoyment, and linking it to what you already do. With small daily actions, you'll create a strong, unstoppable habit over time.
Perfect. And this leads us naturally to solution number 3, which focuses on keeping motivation alive even when challenges come.
All right, Liam. Now let's talk about motivation. Even with small steps and daily habits, learners often lose interest if they don't see why they're learning English.
Exactly. That's why real-life goals are so important. Instead of studying randomly, focus on something meaningful, like ordering food in English, chatting with an online friend, or preparing for a job interview.
I remember when I set a goal to watch an English movie without subtitles. That goal made me practice vocabulary, listening, and speaking every day. And the result? I actually understood the whole movie after a few weeks.
Yes, and goals don't have to be huge. Even small, achievable goals give your brain a reward system. Completing them gives a sense of success, which keeps you motivated to continue.
Another tip. Visualize your success. Imagine yourself speaking confidently, understanding movies, or impressing a friend. That mental image makes the effort feel worthwhile.
And remember, motivation isn't constant. It comes and goes. That's why combining it with the small daily steps and habit building we talked about earlier is so powerful.
Absolutely. Motivation alone isn't enough, but when paired with habits and small wins, it creates unstoppable momentum.
Next up, we'll share solution number 4, a final strategy to complete the picture of consistency and make English learning stick for good.
Okay, Liam, the last big solution is tracking your progress. So many learners study for weeks or months and don't notice how far they've come. That can be discouraging.
Totally. When you track even small achievements, like learning 10 new words, finishing a podcast, or speaking with someone, you reinforce your progress. That feeling of accomplishment keeps you going.
I like using a simple calendar or journal. I mark each day I practice English, write down new words I've learned, and note little successes. Looking back after a month is so motivating.
And don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you speak to someone in English for the first time? Celebrate. Did you understand a whole podcast without subtitles? Celebrate.
Those celebrations act like little rewards for your brain, creating a positive association with learning. You'll start enjoying consistency instead of seeing it as a chore.
Exactly. And when you combine this with starting small, building habits, and setting real-life goals, you've got a full system for staying consistent in English learning.
Next, let's talk about common obstacles that still pop up and how to overcome them. All right, Liam, even with all these strategies, learners still face obstacles. Fear, self-doubt, and setbacks are part of the journey.
Absolutely. Many learners think, I'll never be good enough, or I forgot everything I learned yesterday. That kind of thinking can make you stop practicing entirely.
One way to overcome this is to embrace mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're learning. Every time you speak or write, you're training your brain. Don't fear them. Celebrate them.
Another obstacle is busy life. Work, family, and other responsibilities can push English practice down the list. The solution? Stick to small, flexible routines. Even 5 to 10 minutes counts.
And don't compare yourself to others. Your progress is yours alone. Focus on your own journey, not someone else's highlight reel.
A good mindset to adopt is progress, not perfection. Consistency isn't about being flawless. It's about showing up every day, no matter what.
Exactly. And if you fall off track for a day or two, don't quit. Just restart tomorrow. That's how long-term learners succeed, by bouncing back, not by never slipping.
Now that we've tackled obstacles, let's move on to a practice role play to see these strategies in action.
All right, Liam, let's do a little role play. Imagine you're at a cafe and you want to practice English with the barista.
Okay. Hi, can I get a coffee, please?
Great. Now, imagine you normally feel shy and think, what if I make a mistake? Instead, remind yourself, small steps, practice every day, progress, not perfection.
Got it. Hi, can I get a medium cappuccino with soy milk, please?
Perfect. See, that's applying consistency. You've practiced speaking in small, achievable moments, and it becomes natural.
Another example, listening practice. Instead of aiming to understand a full podcast in one day, you listen for 5 minutes daily, focus on a few words, and gradually your comprehension grows.
Exactly. Role play, short listening sessions, reading a small paragraph, these tiny actions repeated daily create fluency over time.
And remember, each time you practice, you're reinforcing your habit. Consistency is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Now let's move on to some useful vocabulary and phrases from today's episode that you can use in your English practice. Okay, Liam, here are some words and phrases from today's episode that will help learners practice English consistently. Consistency, the act of doing something regularly. Example, consistency is more important than long hours of study. Momentum, the energy that keeps you moving forward. Example, starting with small wins builds momentum in learning English. Habit, a repeated behavior that becomes automatic. Example, listening to English every morning can become a daily habit. Motivation, the reason or desire to do something. Example, setting real-life goals increases motivation to study. Obstacle, a challenge or difficulty that makes progress harder. Example, fear of mistakes is a common obstacle for learners. Progress, not perfection. Focus on improving little by little rather than being perfect. Example, remember, progress, not perfection, is the key to staying consistent.
Perfect. And now let's wrap up today's episode with a motivational recap and call to action to really cement everything we've learned.
All right, Liam, let's recap. Today we learned that staying consistent in English learning isn't about studying for hours or being perfect. It's about starting small, building habits, setting real-life goals, and tracking progress.
Exactly. We talked about common struggles, losing motivation, feeling overwhelmed, and comparing yourself to others, and how to overcome them with simple, practical strategies.
Remember, consistency is a journey. Every 5 to 10 minutes of daily practice adds up. Celebrate your wins, embrace mistakes, and keep showing up even when it feels hard.
And here's the most important mindset shift: progress, not perfection. Small, consistent steps create unstoppable momentum over time.
If you take one thing from today, let it be this. Consistency is your superpower. Show up every day, even just a little, and you'll surprise yourself with how far you go.
And to everyone listening, make a promise to yourself today. Practice your English even for a few minutes. Set a habit, track it, and keep going.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment about your English learning journey. We'd love to hear your small wins and progress.
That's it for today's episode of Speak English with Mishu. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, you've got this.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode with more tips, stories, and English learning strategies. Keep speaking, keep growing.